Hello, everyone. I am Tyler the Wolf, and this is the Wolf's Word. Okay, so, Cal, handlebar mustache, hair still wild as fuck. Was an extra in a movie, The Colonel, which is a movie based on a lieutenant colonel that was in the Marine Corps that went through World War II. Vietnam was in Fredericksburg and helped lead I believe it was a middle school, high school, elementary school. I forget specifically, but he led them to state championship wins, and yeah, it's gonna be a hell of a story. I know that because I was doing it. Seemed like a good guy. Everyone there just seemed in good, fun, high spirits. It was a fun time. And, well, you already know all the subscribe, post, comment, all that stuff to help get it going. But today we are locking in for a topic, and that is going to be Anton Levey. He was born April 11th, 1930, died October 29th, 1997. Now, it was a famous occultist. A lot of wild shit, to say the least. But, during that time, occultism, it was spreading pretty wildly. Spiritualism, stuff like that all has its, real foundation. I mean, when you start going back, like, long ass time, it doesn't matter where you are or what's going on. There's going to be some some form of worship to something, some kind of religion, spiritualism. I mean, I believe it. There was a thing in South America where they had went to an uncontacted tribe, and they couldn't even. They had no concept for like counting. All their things was like hums, calls, like through the throat. They didn't have any real words to speak of. It was more just noises and kind of using like your own facial expressions and stuff like that to really, convey what the fuck's going on. All right, so let's get started. Uh, hmm. This was last accepted reversion reviewed on June 30th, 2026. So 3 days ago, people. I mean, June 30th here. I mean, everyone, going into July 4th should have a day, where someone like the most famous world leaders was literally hanging out with this fucking guy doing some crazy shit that does seem to bleed into like some Epstein files thing. I mean, that's its own fucking cacophony, crazy. Which, what a shock that, the elites, powerful people, when they start getting power, are doing some really weird, fucking crazy shit. What a shock, cause, what the fuck was that one dumb bitch's name? It was, actually, you know what? I'm gonna get you people what you deserve. And an accurate take from the government. Oh, I guess I should say, CIA approved Wikipedia. As that shit goes, and it looks like my laptop is about to die, and that shit's out of a start. But before I do, there's a lady that literally got an astrology computer, where she defined her war on drugs. Astrology computer. Then war on drugs. And who was the female that did this? Okay, Nancy Reagan. Yeah, First Lady Nancy Reagan famously consulted astrologer Joan Quigley guide the president's daily schedule, travel, and public appearances after the 1981 assassination attempt on Ronald Reagan. So, yeah, the war on drugs. Some social commentators theorized that the strict zero tolerance, just say no, was policy was timed for meditated using astrological charts and cosmic advice to ward off perceived evil. Yeah, the CIA's astrology computers, the Digichrome DR70, pop culture lore points to a vintage 1970s astrological computer called the Digichrome DR70. You know, that's all Cold War tactics at the end of the day, because there's a reason why so many people like call the moon landing into question, say it's a soundstage. No, I mean, we did have a space race where, had to beat the Russians up there, first and foremost, because gotta be communism. Okay, give me a minute, people here, so that way my video does not down. Alright, is it giving it a charge? It does not look to be doing so, people, so gotta save that. Of course. Mm, nope. Gotta love this shit, people. Alright, people, there we go now. We cooking with fire. You know what? I'm just gonna leave all of this in. Just me running around. That's why? Because who cares? And also, at the end of the day, oh, let's face facts. I mean, people do gotta get up, walk away from things from like time to time. And editing it out, well, I would like to get a producer, a second opinion on thing. If anyone knows anyone that's actually willing to do work, I mean, I will consistently keep up with that person and make sure there's a daily, like, if I get someone that's actually a worthwhile editor, producer, whatever it is, dope. Let's make some motherfucking money at the end of the day, because let's face it, everybody wants some more money in their pockets at the end of the day. Now, if I was getting paid by one of these ad revenue things, I might actually, well, actually, yeah, if I was getting paid by the ad revenue things, I'd actually do it. But, currently starting out, my personal opinion at the time of this recording is suck my dick. But, mm, that may hurt things in the future, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's just meant to be entertaining, fun, making fun of things, having a good time. You like it, stick around. You don't, go fuck off somewhere else. You got better things to do, okay? You already know you do. You already know you fucking do. And now let's get talking about this motherfucker with the wicked braid. Anton Levey. Alright, so he was Anton Szandor Levey, full name, born Howard Stanton Levey. Oh man, he literally just went from like Levey, like Levey to Levey, capital L lower A, capital V, lower E-Y. Literally trying to say that name just sounds like someone's fucking squeaking. Alright, so he was an American writer, musician, and Satanist. He was the founder of the Church of Satan and the philosophy of Levian Satanism. He authored several books, including The Satanic Bible, The Satanic Witch, The Satanic Rituals, The Devil's Notebook, and Satan Speaks. In addition, he released three albums, including The Satanic Mass, Satan Takes a Holiday, and Strange Music. He played a minor on-screen role and served as a technical advisor for the 1975 film The Devil's Reign, and served as host and narrator for Nick Buga's 1989 Mondo film The Change. I gotta say that you can definitely tell a brand for things, much like with Catholic music or Christian music, Christian rock. I mean, you know what? Let me double check on Creed here. Is Creed a Christian band? Okay, Creed is not a Christian band. While the group's members are Christians and their music often features heavy spiritualism themes and religious imagery, the band has consistently denied the Christian band label to avoid being boxed into a specific genre and alienating secular audiences. Naturally, because, Christian rock bands, it's something else, okay? Like, I love Jesus. Well, I mean, South Park did have fun with it, with Cartman, Token, and Butters all doing like, all right, guys, we're gonna get a Christian rock band. Just put, instead of Babe or the woman's name, just put Jesus. Just like, I love you, Jesus. Some shit like that. Okay, and back to it. Oh, right, the Satanic Bible, Satanic Witch, Satanic Rituals, Devil's Notebook, Satan Speaks. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 books, 3 albums, which kind of curious to listen to. I hope it is a bunch of heavy electric guitar. I mean, depending on how old it is. I mean, I'll. I wonder if there's video of Anton Levey shredding. Just 62 years old, liver spatter fuck, just those hands just hitting a fucking banger of a riff. Start speaking in tongues, shit like that. Classic satanic stuff. He feels them coming through. Do you feel it, my brother? Okay, let's see. There's a picture of LeVay, 1967, and I have no. Fuck is my light coming on? Okay, there we go. That's off. Board Howard Stanton LeVay died October 29th, 1997, in San Francisco, California, age 67. His spouse was Carol Lansing. Looks like that's married 1951, divorced in 1960s. Because you forget, he married before his whole satanic thing, okay? Let's not forget, Satanism, at least what it's seeming like here, is about to get into a lot of wild orgies. Sex magic, catching chlamydia, a little bit of blood cutting, jerking off on the stuff, typical rich people stuff. Let's see. Other partners is Diane Haggerty in 1960, 1984. So, divorced Carol in 1960, and then it looks like he fucked around with Diane for 24 years, and then after Diane, he moved on to Blanche Barton. That's 1984 to 1997 when he died. He had 3 children, three children, including Carla and Xena. Known for the Satanic Bible, Church of Satan, occupation, author, musician, Levian Satanist. So literally, if you, it's just one more thing for a cult practice. That's all it really is. It's just everyone's got their own little forms of worship. But a lot of them do fall into a lot of the same genres. I mean, it, there's a reason why cults literally have like a cookie cutter cut out for some shit. Okay. I mean, look at shows like Naruto here, Spyro, got D&D back here. No, Pokemon, fucking that shit's always, you know, it's got its own, I guess, kind of a cultist. I mean, it is a loyal fan base, but I feel like some people could take that like a little too far. And let's not forget that Pale World is a thing, a knockoff Pokemon where you could just fuck them, kill them, breed them, all that stuff, and give them guns. Fuck yeah! Alright, so history of Satanism. Garth J. Medaway described LaVey as a born showman, with an anthropologist, Jean LaFontaine, describing him as a colorful figure of considerable personal magnetism. The academic scholars of Satanism, Per Faxneld and Jesper Agard Peterson, described LaVey as the most iconic figure in the satanic milieu. LaVey was labeled many things by journalists, religious detractors, and Satanists alike, including the father of Satanism, the Saint Paul of Satanism, the Black Pope, and the evilest man in the world. oh, what an easy fucking time. I mean, if you had enough money, influence, and followers and shit, just like L. Ron Hubbard did with Scientology, you will follow my rules. As one of his things was like having people do something with like their hand, like set it here. Now leave it here for like an hour, and if you move it, I'll come back and smack you or whatever. Just like that little Midge David Miscavige. I mean, I just wanna check something here, cause I don't know enough about LaVey. Like I know his name. I mean, clearly, you get an idea of David Miscavige. Where you at, son? Okay, David Miscavige. Height. Cause I heard, yeah, 5'6". Okay, yeah, he's got little person syndrome. I guess people refer to it as Napoleon complex, which that dude was a fucking baller at the end of the day. I mean, he literally got his way up into power, realized exactly what was gonna happen, made like all of his strategic, moves and shit. And then the dude's he got fucking like exiled, not killed, not dragged through torture. They're just like, you know what? Just go away and start your own little nation over here. Here's this little thing. Just go fuck off and have fun, okay? You think you give a kid like a couple of play toys? I mean, he pretty much got booted out and was just like, here's a bunch of your dudes. Just, you guys go fuck off somewhere. You ain't nothing now. What a shot there. Okay, so, LaVey's early life, which if I'm remembering correctly, his mother referred to him as like the Beast or some other shit like that. Like, he's the Beast. Watch out for him. He's something different. Alright, LaVey was born Howard Stanton LaVey on April 11th, 1930 in Chicago, Illinois, to an American family with mixed European ancestry. like everyone does. His parents were Michael Joseph Levey and Gertrude Augusta. Joseph died in 1992 and was born in 1903. Ooh, damn. Well, hey, I got to 89. And Gertrude Augusta, nee Colton, parentheses, he later wrote confusing and contradictory accounts of his ancestry. For instance, yeah, what a shock, you're just making up your fucking backstory because you got. Remember, your past is whatever you want it to be to people who don't know you. Oh, it's kind of fun to fuck with some people and just be like, oh, yeah, here's us. Be like, really? No! It's. Oh, you fucking idiot. Okay, alright, he later, yeah, for instance, describing his maternal grandmother as a gypsy from Transylvania, which was false as she was born in Ukraine. Getting bombed over there. I don't know what's going on with Ukraine, but I hope they get whatever freedom they they want. The hagiography by LaVey's partner, Blanche Barton, The Secret Life of a Satanist, describes his maternal grandmother as coming from a gypsy father and a Jewish mother from Transylvania. You know, he was really hoping to play on like that Dracula Transylvania shit, because I guarantee you that Bram Stoker's Dracula was coming out during that time, and it's the whole vampire concept and everything. I guarantee you he was playing into, like, saw that movie, had like some of that knowledge. It may or may not have came out yet, but I mean, Dracula being from Transylvania, Vlad the Impaler, you know, that whole little thing. I bet you, without even look at the rest of this fucking thing, I can guarantee you he's gonna try calling himself some, you know, son of the dragon shit. Cause that was one of Dracula's monikers, or Vlad the Impaler's monikers. Okay, Bartlam merely interpreted LaVey's writing and did not research European birth records. Shock. LaVey's parents, both born in the U.S., were not Jewish, and he never identified as Jewish. But you know, Israel, I was a Jew, I'm with you guys. Even he knew about Epstein and shit like that back then, I bet. Or he knew something was going on in Israel where he was like, oh man, yeah. I was definitely once a Jew, guys. Like, I'm a Satanist now, but I was once a Jew. Alright, his parents supported his musical interest as he tried a number of instruments. His favorites were the keyboards, such as the piano and accordion. Where are you? Anton played piano in a Baptist church as a boy and played in oboe in high school. The fuck is oboe? Oh, okay, like that's like some kind of clarinet thing. Okay. Oh, all you band people, anyone that knows about that shit has just gotta be rolling over. I hope you're stewing in my lack of knowledge, yelling out. Alright, he attended Tamapolis High School in Mill Valley, California until the age of 16. LeVay claimed he left school at age 16 to join the Clyde Betty Circus and later carnivals, first as a roustabout and cage boy in an act with the Big Cats, then as a musician playing the calliope. Calliope? Oh, okay, that's some kind of organ in there in like the back with like a horse and shit, on how they have the carriages like right back in here, pull back open the tent, there's your little organs and everything, players sitting right here with their keyboard, ba, 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 ba. Yeah, some kind of organ piano shit. However, journalist Lawrence Wright investigated LeVay's background and found no evidence LeVay ever worked in a circus, either as a musician or a cage boy. So, dude was straight up trying to say, oh yeah, like, this circus was definitely able to afford this. I got to play it. And even then, I was a cage boy too. Like, I fought lions. Like, you got nothing against me. I fought lions, bitch. Like, what the fuck are you gonna do? Yeah, I could definitely see that dumb California vibe. Lock me in a cage with your son. We'll see who comes out on top. Get me in a cage match with this bitch. We'll stretch that fucker's little asshole out like he's a tight little pushy. That little bushy. Oh, man. However, journalists looked into it. In the winter of 1948, Levey began to work as an organist in bars, lounges, and nightclubs. His genius on keyboards helped him attain gigs. He claimed to have had a brief affair with then unknown Marilyn Monroe. What a shock. Try to find the facts on that. She's gonna tell you no. Guess what? I totally fucked Marilyn Monroe. Okay, while playing organ in Los Angeles burlesque houses, stating that she was a dancer at the Mayan Theater at the time. This was challenged by those who knew Monroe then, as well as the manager of the Mayan, Paul Valtine, who, what a shock, who said she had never been one of his dancers, nor had the theater ever been used as a burlesque house. Yeah, because when you start doing the research and shit, well, I'm not completely off on things. I mean, okay, let me rephrase that. Okay, so am I on theater? Let me check this shit out. What's some of its history? Musical comedy, Haley Waters, Charles Burnett. The theater was owned by pornographic filmmaker Carlos Tobalani in the 1980s. Okay, so maybe that was before. I am not 100% on that. But, yeah, I remember hearing something about the Neon Theater. So, that's why it's kind of clicking in my head. I mean, an unknown Monroe, prettiest girl, like, guarantee you she was already sucking politician dick, like, way before that. Like, dudes that were making money, I was just like, oh my god, I gotta have that. Like, what do you want? You know, just real dumbasses just completely fucking simping out. No fucking respect for themselves. According to his biography, LeVay moved back to San Francisco. LeVay met Carol Lansing in 1950, and they married the following year. When Lansing was 15 years old, Lansing gave birth to LeVay's first daughter, Carla LeVay, born in 1952. In order to avoid the Korean draft, he studied criminology at the College City of San Francisco. LeVay then attained a job as a photographer for the San Francisco Police Department, where he worked for 3 years. Wright could find no evidence of LeVay being enrolled at the City College of San Francisco or working at this job either. LeVay claimed to have dabbled as a psychic investigator looking into 800 calls, referred to him by SFPD. Later, biographers questioned whether LeVay ever worked with the SFPD, as there are no records substantiating the claim. LeVay and Carol divorced in 1960 after LeVay became involved with Diane Haggerty. Haggerty and LeVay never married, but she was his companion for 24 years. It's a good old suck and fuck for him. With all the other ladies, bringing them in as Satanists. You gotta go through the initiation process. So, yeah, bend over and spread the fucking legs. Like a real creep, like something like that. Or she was like, no, and you'll You know, that motherfucker does not like the word now. And if I'm right, I recall hearing that on his deathbed he was like, "Oh no, I'm so sorry, I did so wrong," or something like that. Let me double check that. Levey's last words. Levey's last words. Okay. Yep. He was unconscious during his final days before passing on. Yeah. Okay. So I thought he may have had some kind of last words and everything, but clearly he was unconscious during them. So I'm kind of inclined to believe, but there's probably some shit beforehand because this guy was wealthy enough and well known enough to be fucking around with some major people at that time. Okay, LeVay and Carol, yeah, they already divorced, and mothered his second daughter, Zena. Galette shriek ni LeVay at the end of their relationship. Haggerty sued for palimony. Palimony is the division of financial assets and real property on the termination of a personal live-in relationship wherein the parties are not legally married. The term palimony is not a legal or historical term, but rather a colloquial portmanteau of the words Paul and alimony. Nevertheless, numerous secondary legal sources refer to the term in an attempt to describe its influence and implications upon actual state law. Alright, okay, here we go. The Church of Satan. Anton Levey became a local celebrity in San Francisco through his paranormal research and live performances as an organist, including playing the Wurlitzer at the Lost Weekend Cocktail Lounge. He was also a publicly noticeable figure. He drove a coroner's van around town, and he walked his pet black leopard named Zoltan. In 1965, he acquired a lion named Togari as a pet. This garnered LeVay much media attention. Yeah, you bought a fucking lion, and you're just peacocking. They're like, yeah, look at my black leopard. His name's Sultan, but watch out. He's dangerous. The land was eventually given to the San Francisco Zoo. Yeah, because it's going to take a lot to feed that motherfucker, and, you're not an actual fucking lion tamer, despite you having that bullshit, besides lying about that bullshit, like, you know what? I was a lion tamer back in the circus. That's why I can do this. God damn. Okay, he attracted. Oh, yeah, the lion was eventually given to San Francisco Zoo. He attracted many San Francisco notables to his party. Here comes. Guests include Karen D. Plesson, where the fuck that is, Michael Harner, Chester A. Arthur third, my bad, Forrest J. Ackerman, Fritz Lebier, Cecil E. Nixon, and Kenneth Anger. LeVay formed a group called the Order of the Trapezoid. Order of the fucking Trapezoid? I feel like this has to do with some kind of pyramid shit. Alright, let's keep going. Which later evolved into the governing body of the Church of Satan. According to Faxnell and Pedersen, the Church of Satan represented the first public, highly visible, and long-lasting organization which propounded a coherent satanic discourse. Okay, so let's find out who this Michael Harner is. Was an American anthropologist, educator, and author. His 1980 book, The Way of the Shaman, A Guide to Power and Healing, has been foundational in the development and popularization of core shamanism as a new age path of personal development for adherents of neo shamanism. He also founded the Foundation of Shamanic Studies. Right? He was born April 27th, 1929, died February 3rd, 2018. Another one of his is Chester A. Arthur III, was an American astrologer and sexologist. He was the grandson of Chester A. Arthur I, the 21st President of the United States. He received his early education from Columbia College and later joined the Philoxian Society. He left his college and participated in the Irish Republican movement. During this time in Ireland, he began going by the name Gavin. Looks like he was born in Colorado Springs, March 21st, 1901, and died April 28th, 1972, at Fort Miles Veterans Hospital in San Francisco, California. Right, another one of them was Forrest James Ackerman, was an American magazine editor, science fiction writer, and literary agent, a founder of science fiction fandom, a leading expert on science fiction, horror, and fantasy films, a prominent advocate of the Esperanto language, and one of the world's most avid collectors of genre books and film memorabilia. He was based in Los Angeles, California. Okay, so he was born November 24th, 1916, Los Angeles, California. Died December 4th, 2008, Los Angeles, California. Another one of his group was Fritz Liebert Jr., who was born December 24th, 1910, and died September 5th, 1992. He was an American writer of fantasy, horror, and science fiction. Looks like he was born in Chicago, Illinois. Yeah. Yes. Chicago, Illinois. Right. Another one is Kenneth Anger, born Kenneth Wilbur Engelmeyer. He was born February 3rd, 1927, and he died May 11th, 2023. He was an American underground experimental filmmaker, actor, and writer. Working exclusively in short films, he produced almost 40 works beginning in 1937, 9 of which have been grouped together as the Magic Lantern Cycle. Okay. Curious why that shit isn't it Poland. I mean, if you're gonna put them all together and have that, I definitely feel like this shit should have been, clocked over onto here. Anger's films voraciously merge surrealism with homoesotericism and the occult and have been described as containing elements of erotica, documentary, psychodrama, and spectacle. He has been called one of America's first openly gay filmmakers, with several films released before homosexuality was legalized in the US. Anger also explored occult themes in many of his films. He was fascinated by the English occultist Aleister Crowley and an adherent of Thelema, the religion Aleister Crowley founded. Okay, so yeah, Steve LeVay, fucking. Honestly, I know gonna do a future one here on Aleister Crowley, but I did put out the post. Which one do you think is more interesting, Crowley or LeVay? I mean, I definitely feel like they both have their own notable occultism and stuff like that too, but you know, I feel like everyone's got their own little personal take on it. But interested to hear. I mean, which one do you think is more interesting? Okay, so never one for theory, LeVay created a belief system somewhere between religion, philosophy, psychology, and carnival or circus, freely appropriating silence, mythology, fringe beliefs, and playing a potent mix. The core goal was always indulgence in vital existence based on the devices and desire of the self-made man. That was Per Fexneld and Jesper Pedersen. Alright, so LeVay began presenting Friday night lectures on the occult and rituals. A member of this circle suggested that he had the basis for a new religion, according to LeVay himself on Walter Prudence. April 30th, 1966, he ritualistically shaved his head, allegedly in the tradition of the ancient executioners, quote unquote. As a tradition of the executioner, I must shave my head. Declared the founding of the Church of Satan and proclaimed 1966 as the year one. Anno Satanas, the first year age of Satan, LeVay's image, has been described as Mesophotelian. And that is... Okay, so Mephistophelian means showing the cunning or integrity or wickedness typical of a devil. I feel like they just took the word Mephistophelian, and yeah, Mephistophelian. Is that literally the way it's pronounced? Mephistophelian. Okay. Mephistopheles. And may have been inspired by an occult themed episode of the television show The Wild Wild West titled The Night of the Druid's Blood. Ba, ba, ba. Okay. Which originally aired on March 25th, 1966, and starred Don Rickles as the evil magician and satanic cult leader Asmodeus, who, without a doubt, the Mephistophelian persona, virtually identical to that which LeVay adopted 1 month later. Media attention. Yeah, sorry people, I'm just now having a little bit of a voice. You know the funniest San Antonio is coming up? Fucking... No. I'm just gonna be doing that shit. Just focus on the topics and just letting them fucking loose. So, I'm actually gonna put the link here in this video. So, this is my submission to you, funniest, Okay, so Asmodeus, whose Mephistophelian persona is virtually identical to that which LeVay adopted 1 month later, media attention followed the subsequent satanic wedding ceremony of journalist John Raymond to New York City socialite Judith Case on February 1st, 1967. The LA Times and San Francisco Chronicle were among the newspapers that printed articles dubbing him the Black Pope. I bet you that motherfucker must have called into them, slid some cash to the right people and just be like, you know what, could you give me a good moniker of Black Pope, the Dark Pope? LeVay performed satanic baptisms, including the first satanic baptism, which just brought some period blood all over you. In history for his 3-year-old daughter Xena, dedicating her to Satan and the left-hand path, which garnered worldwide publicity and was originally recorded on the Satanic Mass LP. So he literally did that old shit on his album. It's like, you know what, you doing this? This is meant to prop me up in my album. Like, get good. In the late 1960s and early 70s, LeVay melded ideological influences from Friedrich Nietzsche and Han H.L. Mencken and social Darwinism with the ideology In Ritual Practices of the Church of Satan, he wrote essays introduced with reworked excerpts from Ragnar Redbeard's Might is Right, and concluded that Satanist versions of John Dee's Enochian keys to create the books, such as The Complete Witch, released in 1989, is The Satanic Witch. Gotta fuck with that shit. And The Satanic Rituals. The later book was included rituals drawn on the work of H.P. Lovecraft. I mean, yeah, H.P. Lovecraft was a fun dude. Not just doing a little shitty Dave Chappelle voice. Or whatever the fuck y'all want to call it. I ain't care, bitch. Admitting his use of Might is Right, Levey stated that he did so in order to immortalize a writer who had profoundly reached me. He's literally saying Ray who reached through and just helped him write. Oh, I wish I was on enough acid to feel like that. And like, work through, man. I feel it. He's coming through. He's getting my wax out right off of my mic. It's crazy, I'll tell you. Alright, in 1972, the public work at Levey's Black House in San Francisco was curtailed and work was continued by sanctioned regional grottos. Parentheses for that shit. In early 1975, Levey announced that higher degrees of initiation could be given in return for, unshockingly, for a financial contribution. Because, every single fucking church needs you to tithe. Give me your fucking money. You don't need it. I do. Let me put it in the hands of the person that's going to do right with it. You're done with it. You don't need it. What you need to do is give it to me so I can give it to God. God wants me to have it. Remember, people, just each time, just take a minute to think. I mean, at the end of the day, yes, churches do run on donations, whatever, but they are also tax exempt. Who built the place? How did it get built? How did it get paid for? Alright, there's messes. How did all the clothes get bought? You think another church just wandered in and was like, you know what, bud? You need some good vestments. You're a new priest. You get to go to the new vestment store with an older priest. After he makes sure he fondles you, touches you, gives you the rundown. Now that you're initiated, you need your new vestments. No, you ain't gonna get no fucking hand-me-downs. We're going to a good place. We're gonna go get you some good vestments. Alright, so, yeah, Mr. Stoffeline. Might right. Yeah, synchronized version of John Dee's Enochian Keys. Yeah, in 1972, The Black House. The Grottos in 1975. Levey announced high degrees initiation, financial contribution. June 1975, editor of the church's newsletter, Michael Aquino, left the Church of Satan and formed the Theistic Temple of Set, claiming to take on an unknown number of dissenters with him. Unknown number of people that were just done with the Church of Satan were like, what's the new religion? I got one. It is called the Temple of Set. Y'all want to go fuck around with that? But everyone just like, yeah, let's go. It's something new. Just another breakaway sect from the church. Much like that one, I believe it's I forget, it's some kind of Asian one. I think it might be Korean or Chinese or something, because I know the son has his crown of bullets and everyone around, it's like, The Church of Rod and Steel. The Church of Rod and Steel. Uh, check that shit out. That dude's actually a breakaway. Well, the son of a much higher member or authority in the church. The, oh. uh, the church maintains this policy announcement was designed to clean house of members who did not understand satanic philosophy. So they were like, oh nah, they just weren't compatible with us, so they went with him. His thing. Okay, later life and death. In 1980, the FBI interviewed Levey in connection with an alleged plot to murder Ted Kennedy. Alright, Ted Kennedy, who was born February 22nd, 1932, and died August 25th, 2009, was clearly not successful. Was an American lawyer and politician who represented Massachusetts in the United States Senate from 1962 until his death in 2009. A member of the Democratic Party, he was the second most senior member of the Senate. When he died, he is ranked 5th in U.S. history for length of continuous service as a senator. Kennedy was the younger brother of President John F. Kennedy and U.S. Attorney General and U.S. Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and uncle of incumbent U.S. Secretary of Health and Human Services Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and the father of U.S. Representative Patrick J. Kennedy. Seems like a lot of these people in power all seem to have a lot of the same fucking name. I mean, it is the Kennedys, and all you have to do is just start tracking some of that shit back. I am telling you people, like, if you just want to take just 5 minutes and you're curious about something, just focus on that question and just see where it leads you. You're gonna be surprised by some fucking results. That's why the Epstein files, when people start seeing connections, they're like, oh, 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 you mean the guy with billions of dollars to fucking spend and is definitely still alive in Israel? Hope you're doing okay, Jeffy boy. Well, I mean, CIA's got everything. Well, let's just say, technology in general is definitely good enough where, you could definitely walk by someone just in complete makeup and be like, yeah, I don't even know that person. Also, at like the same time, I feel like, just staying and looking the same. You're like, this is my beautiful, perfect face. I am not going to fucking put rubber and cosmetics and shit over it to go out. I'm just gonna go out looking like me, because you know what? Who the fuck is gonna say anything? I mean, he's worth billions of dollars. He's right up there with the Rothschilds that pretty much own the U.S. Yeah. What? Edison? No, not specifically Edison. Who was ever funding Tesla and everything. I mean, you can clearly see where millions are, getting funneled to and from. World Economic Forum. Just all that shit. Just take a look. Just like, who's up in the people of power that are just, doing this kind of shit, and then just take a little look, a couple of little scratches beneath the surface. What a shock. More fucked up shit. Okay, according to his family, Anton Levey died on October... Oh, wait a minute. Sorry about that. Levey told the agents that most of the church's followers were fanatics, cultists, and weirdos. The agents reported that Levey's interest in the Church of Satan is strictly for a monetary point of view, and that he spent most of his time furnishing interviews, writing material, and lately he has become interested in photography. In 1984, Haggerty issued a restraining order against Levey, which he did not contest. It was like, alright, fucking, I don't need to fucking be around you, dude. Okay, LeVay's third and final companion was Blanche Barton on November 1st, 1993. Oh no, Haggerty was his ex-wife, or just sex partner, or just partner, or whatever. Fucking, you guys get the idea, rich, successful guy, bunch of religious fanatic followers that are willing to literally jump at every fucking word he says and read on their hands and knees for some kind of fucking, gain their way. Alright, on November 1st, 1993, Barton gave birth to Satan Xerxes Karnaki LeVay. Barton succeeded LeVay as the head of the church after his death and has since stepped down from that role and handed it to Magus Peter H. Gilmore. According to his family, Anton Levey died on October 29, 1997 in St. Mary's Medical Center in San Francisco of pulmonary edema. However, his death certificate lists October  31st, 1997. He was taken to St. Mary's, a Catholic hospital, because it was the closest available. A secret satanic funeral, attended by invitation only, was held in Colma. Alright, let's check Colma. Colma is a small, unincorporated town in San Mateo County, California, United States, on the San Francisco Peninsula in the San Francisco Bay Area. The population was 1,507 at the 2020 census. The town was founded as a necropolis in 1924. Okay, so, dude. Alright, 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 alright. Alright. Was held in coma, after which LeVay's body was cremated. He did not speak any last words because he was unconscious, but rumors later arose that he uttered the following: oh my, what have I done? Yeah, I could definitely see some rumor shit happening like that. Like, yeah, I definitely feel like I heard some shit like that, but I was like, you know what? Let's check that shit. See, people, that's called fact checking yourself. You're like, is that real? I'm gonna go check that shit. There's something. Oh my, what have I done? Exclamation point. There's something very wrong. There's something very wrong. There's something very wrong. This rumor was judged unfounded by Snopes. And Snopes is a fact checking website. It has been described as a well regarded reference for sorting out myths and rumors on the internet. The site has also been a source for both validating and debunking urban legends and similar stories in American pop culture. Check that shit out. On February 2nd, 1928, his estranged daughter Zena Schreck and her then husband Nicholas Schreck published a 9-page fact sheet in which they endorsed Wright's earlier allegations and claimed that many more LeVay stories about his life had been false. What a shock. Okay, thought. LeVay included references to other esoteric and religious groups throughout his writings, claiming, for instance, that the Yazidis and Knights Templar were carriers of a satanic tradition that had been passed down to the 20th century. Scholar of Satanism Per Faxnell believed that these references were deliberately tongue-in-cheek and ironic, but he noted that many Satanists who had read LeVay's writings had taken them to be literal historical claims about the past. Yeah, because you can write and just lie about anything to just say it's non-fiction or fiction. Yeah, I mean, whatever category you want to fucking put it in, it's just talking and convincing like the right person. Just like, oh no, it's all this. Gee. Ba, 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 ba. Yeah. But he noted that many Satanists who, yeah, although he regularly derided older esotericists, LeVay also relied upon their work, for instance, making use of John Dee's Enochian system, the Satanic Bible, in the Satanic Bible. Faxnell therefore believed that there was a tension in Levey's thought between his desires to establish prestigious satanic predecessors and his desire to be seen as the founder of the first real satanic society. Durendal argued that Levey partook in conspiracy culture as he grew old, for he was greatly concerned with modern society's impact on individual agency. Levey was conservative in his attitude to law and order and insisted that the church abide by state law in all of its actions. He supported eugenics and believed that it would be a necessity in the future. Levey hated rock and metal music, with or without satanic lyrics, and often expressed his distaste for it. Dude hated rock and metal music. No, I'm kind of wondering what he was playing like there, and like his whole thing was it just, just Mongolian throat chants, just all over. Okay, politics. Due to the neo-Nazi James H. Madola's opposition to Christianity, he sought new religious ideas and was attracted to a merging of fascism and Satanism that led to an alliance between Levey and Madoli. Black Sun by Nicholas Godric Clark states, James Wagner, a former security echelon commander, recalls the relationship between the NRP and the Church of Satan, founded in 1966 by Anton Salvador Levey, were cordial. Madol and Levey frequently met at the NRP office and in the Warlock Bookshop in New York. Okay, so history of Satanism. Garth J. Medway described Levey as a born showman, anthropologist, dreamed about his books, The Satanic Bible and Satanic Rituals, have been cited as having an influence far beyond the Church of Satan's memberships. In 1995, the religious studies scholar Graham Harvey wrote that although the Church had no organized presence in the UK, Levey's writings were widely accessible in British bookshops. Due to increasing visibility through his books, Levey was the subject of numerous articles in the news media throughout the world, including popular magazines such as Look, McCall's Newsweek, and Time. In men's magazines, he also appeared on the talk shows such as Joe Prine's Show, Danawi, and The Tonight Show. Oh, he was on The Tonight Show? Damn, Levey. I mean, it is during that time. I could... Oh, God, what the fuck am I saying? He did movies and other shits, of course. I mean, if this was around this time, that dude would definitely be having, like, his own podcast. Like, this is the Satanic Podcast. Some shit like that. Okay, Levey claimed that he had been appointed consultant to the film Rosemary's Baby, which revolved around a group of fictional Satanists, and that he also had a cameo appearance in the film as the devil. However, critics have argued that none of this was true. Shock. In an article published in Rolling Stone magazine in 1991, the journalist Lawrence Wright revealed that through his own investigative work, he found that many of Levey's claims about his life had been untrue. You mean the guy lied? What a shock. 2 official biographies have been written on Levey, including The Devil's Avenger by Burton H. Wolfe, published in 1974, and The Secret Life of a Satanist, written by Blanche Barton in 1990. Let's see, there's other Levey-related books. Recordings of Anton Levey, Satanic Mass, 1968, Strange Music, 1994, Satan Takes a Holiday, 1995, Anton Salvador Levey, The Devil Speaks and Plays, 2017, so that's its own thing. Yeah. Alright, people, so that is a rundown of Anton Levey. Thank you for joining me. If you still somehow made it through this made it through this. Thank you. I greatly appreciate it. I mean, I'm definitely gonna try getting more into this. I'm sorry, I haven't been the most consistent. It's I just wish I had like the right person right there to like help me edit, work through this, put shit out there. Just get some other ideas for someone else that would be doing like this. So thank y'all. Bye.